For this video, we will talk about parabola. A parabola is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed point and fixed line of the plane. The fixed point is called the focus and the fixed line is the directrix. Now, let's talk about the general form of equation of a parabola. A parabola has two general forms of equation. First one, we have ax squared plus bx plus ay plus f equals 0. If a is greater than 0 or if a is a positive number, therefore the parabola opens upward. While if a is less than 0 or if a is a negative number, therefore the parabola opens downward. This general form of equation has a vertical axis. And in this equation or in this parabola, a must not be equal to 0. So for the next general form of equation, we have cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. When c is greater than 0 or when c is a positive number, therefore the parabola opens to the right. While if c is less than 0 or is a negative number, therefore the parabola opens to the left. And this parabola has a horizontal axis, and d must not be equal to 0. Now let's talk about the standard form of equation of a parabola. So a parabola has four standard form of equation. So the first one, we have the quantity of x minus h squared plus positive or negative 4a multiplied by the quantity of y minus k. The vertex of this parabola is at point hk, and when a is a positive number, therefore this parabola opens upward. While if a is a negative number, therefore the parabola opens downward. The next standard form of equation of our parabola is the quantity of y minus k squared equals positive or negative 4a multiplied by the quantity of x minus h. The vertex of this parabola is at point hk, and if a is a positive number, therefore the parabola opens to the right. While if a is a negative number, therefore the parabola opens to the left. So let's move on with the third standard form of equation of a parabola. So this equation is x squared equals positive negative 4ay, wherein the vertex of this parabola is at point 0, 0. Or we can say that the vertex of this parabola is at the origin. If a is a positive number, therefore the parabola opens upward. While if a is a negative number, therefore the parabola opens downward. So now the last standard form of equation of a parabola. It takes the equation of y squared is equal to positive negative 4ax, wherein the vertex of the parabola is at 0, 0 or at the origin. If a is a positive number, therefore the parabola opens to the right. While if a is a negative number, therefore the parabola opens to the left. As you can notice, if x take the degree of 2, therefore the parabola opens either to upward or downward. While if y takes the degree of 2, or if y is raised to 2, it opens to the right or to the left. Now let's talk about the different parts of a parabola. So a parabola has 6 parts. So the first one is the vertex. Vertex is the point midway between the focus and directrix. It is the turning point of the parabola. So in this illustration, the vertex is this one, the turning point of the parabola. And now focus. Focus is a fixed point. Focus is a fixed point. Directrix is a fixed line. So the distance between the focus and the vertex and the distance between the vertex and the directrix are the same. And now, the axis of the parabola. The axis of the parabola is the line that passes through the focus and the vertex. So the line that passes through the focus and the vertex is called the axis of symmetry or the axis of the parabola. Next is the latus rectum. The latus rectum is the line segment joining 2 points of the parabola passing through the focus and perpendicular to the axis. So if we draw a perpendicular line that passes through this focus, it is called the latus rectum. Now the focal distance. The focal distance is the distance between the vertex and the focus. So again, the distance between the vertex and the focus is the focal distance. Now let's move on with the properties of a parabola or the geometric properties of a parabola. The first one is the distance from vertex to focus. So the distance from vertex to focus is represented by letter A. So we'll just take the distance from the vertex to focus. We will use the distance formula. And next one, the length of the latus rectum. Latus rectum has a length of 4a. In short, we will multiply the distance a by 4 to get the distance between the latus rectum. Next one is the equation of the directrix. So we have, for the first one, we have x equals h positive negative a. We will use this equation of directrix if our parabola opens upward or downward. But if our parabola opens to the right or to the left, we will use y equals k positive negative a. For this video, we will talk about how to transform the equation of a parabola from general form to standard form. So we have two examples here. The first one, we have x squared plus 4x minus 8y plus 4 equals 0. And we have example number 2, y squared minus 8x plus 6y minus 13 equals 0. So let's transform first the first equation. So in transforming the equation of a parabola from general to standard form, the first step is to group the term with the same variable. So we will group x squared and 4x. We have quantity of x squared plus 4x minus 8y plus 4 equals 0. And then for the second step, we need to move the remaining terms to the right side of the equation. So we will move negative 8y plus 4. So we will remain, or we will rewrite the quantity of x squared plus 4x. And then if we move negative 8y, it will become positive 8y. And if we move positive 4 to the opposite side of the equation, it will become negative 4. Next, for the third term, create a perfect square trinomial by completing the square. So we will do completing the square for this part of the equation. And whatever terms we add in the left side of equation, we will also add it on the right side of the equation. So in completing the square, we will divide the middle term by 2. So 4 divided 2 is 2. And then square the result. So 2 squared is 4. We add 4 on the left side. We will also add 4 on the right side. And then next, simplify both sides of the equation. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 8y, and then negative 4 plus 4 is equal to 0. So we'll cancel this one. Then next, express the perfect square trinomial. So this is the perfect square trinomial as a square of binomial to make the equation in the vertex form. So in transforming the perfect square trinomial into a square of binomial, we will extract the square root of the first term. So the square root of x squared is x. And then we will follow the sign of the middle term, so we have positive. And then we will extract the square root of the last term. So the square root of 4 is 2. And then square the binomial. So we now have a square of binomial. And then write the left side. So that's it for the first equation. And now let's transform the second equation into its standard form. And now we will talk about on how to transform the equation of a parabola from standard to general form. So again, we have two examples. So let's start with the first example. So we have the quantity of x minus 1 squared minus negative 1 multiplied by the quantity of y minus 22. So the first step is to square the binomial. So we will square the left side of the equation. So in getting the square of a binomial, we will square the first term, so x squared, and then multiply the first and second term and multiply it by 2. So x multiplied by negative 1, we have negative x, and then negative x multiplied by 2, we have negative 2x. And then square the last term, so negative 1 squared, we have positive 1. And then we will distribute negative 1 or multiply negative 1 to each term inside the parentheses. So negative 1 multiplied by y, we got negative y. Then negative 1 multiplied by negative 22, we got positive 22. And then we will place all terms to the left side of the equation. So we will move negative y plus 22 into the left side of the equation. So now let's remove first the grouping symbol. So we have x squared minus 22 plus 1. And then we move negative y to the left side. It will become positive y. Then we will move positive 22 on the left side. So we get negative 22 equals 0. And then next, simplify the equation by combining all like terms. So our like terms in this part of the equation, so wait, it's negative 2x. So all the like terms in this equation is the constant term. So we will combine the constant term. So first we got x squared minus 2x plus y, and then positive 1 minus 22, we have negative 21 equals 0. So this is now the general form of the equation of our first example. So now let's move on to the second one.